go best friend, go best friend, 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 best friend. That's my best friend. That's my best friend.
Ah, yes, you seen the title, so you already know what we covering today. One of the most dangerous worlds to live in when talking about anime. The world of Demon Slayer. Now, if you're a returning Demon Slayer fan, you already know what we're about to get into, but for those of y'all who haven't watched the show, let me give you a quick rundown. So to explain things in the simplest of terms, Demon Slayer is really just survival of the fittest, because this is one of the only animes that you can leave your house for a few hours and come back to see your family packed up by a demon. And yes, you could argue the fact that becoming a Slayer would end up saving your life in the long run, but realize there's only 9 that are actually good, and the rest get packed up on the first day. And it doesn't make it any better when you have the king of it all creating demons that could either scrap with or kill those same 9 Hashira. Which actually makes me wonder, if you have the choice to live in any anime world, which one would it be and why? Let me know in the comments. But hey, enough talking, let's get into the video. So our Demon Slayer experience takes place on the train, and the reason why our trio is investigating it is because of the fact that there have been 40 people that just went missing a few days ago on the same train. And off rip, I'm gonna stop it right there and tell y'all that this is exactly why I cannot live in the Demon Slayer verse. Because let the higher ups tell me that I gotta go investigate a train where hella people just disappeared out of nowhere. And I already know there are some of y'all watching this who would be first in line to go on this train. And I'm truly here to tell y'all that it's all fun and games till this nigga shows up, but y'all not even ready for that. But anyways, while being on the train, they found out that the Flame Hashira Rengoku was also there to see what's going on. And if y'all remember what I said earlier, Rengoku being one of the 9 Hashira meant that this nigga was certified and they were in good hands. Because as you can see, when the first demon pulled up, bro was playing no games. He had charged up and dashed right at him and cut the nigga's head off. And you know that shit was clean because bro was already halfway across the train before the body even blew up. And at the time, the only Hashira that we really got to see fight was Giyu, so Rengoku quickly became the fan favorite. But here's where shit began to get weird, because while everyone was sleeping, we get introduced to the main demon that was behind this whole train incident, being Enmu, the lower 1 ranked demon. And we learned that he had essentially paid these kids off to tie themselves to the Slayers and enter their dreams. Because using this method, once you find the target's spiritual core, you could stab it, which will end up killing them. The only requirement is they stay asleep long enough for you to do it. And this is yet another reason why half of y'all Demon Slayer fans would not last in this show. Because even with summer coming to a close, I already know half of y'all's sleep schedules is all over the place. And I'm already knowing that if Enmu put y'all niggas in a good dream, there is no chance you're waking up. And I almost said the same thing about Tanjiro, because Enmu had put Tanjiro in a world where his family never was slaughtered by demons. And I'm not gonna lie, he spent a good minute in there. He was over here laughing, having fun, and even sat at the dinner table. But then he said, wait a minute, y'all niggas are packed. So after realizing nothing he saw was real, Tanjiro knew there was only one way out of the dream world, being to off himself. And so once he built up enough courage to finally do it, he not only returned to the real world, but now was immune to all dreams placed on him. And since Rengoku cleared all the demons out the cart, he knew that the only other place to look was the roof, and that's where they squared up. And my first time watching this, I was hyped not only because the animation was on point, but this man Tanjiro really got to run his fade on top of a train. So the second Tanjiro dashed at him, this man charged one of his fake air pods that put everybody to sleep and hit him with it. And even though it stunned Tanjiro for a second, bro spun right back and tried to hit him again. Because now that Tanjiro discovered the art of offing himself in the dream world, he's now immune to anything Enmu tries to throw at him. But Enmu had no idea. All he knew was this nigga Tanjiro just kept waking up and his attacks weren't doing anything. So instead of trying to find another move to use or try to adapt to what Tanjiro's doing, the nigga just decided to keep spamming. But after damn near 8 spams later, Tanjiro had finally had enough and was able to cut the nigga's head off. And although it seemed to be over, you already know that in anime it's never that simple, because we realized that that was only a fraction of Enmu and his body is the train itself. And so the nigga's head pops out of the train and Tanjiro doesn't even know what the fuck he's looking at. But to keep a long story short, he told Tanjiro that he was no longer worried about him and was gonna kill everyone on the train. And I don't know what was in the air, but once all the players woke up, they all thought they were in an edit, because once my boy Inosuke dropped down, he was out here styling while trying to save the people. And we definitely can't forget about Nezuko, because she was out here getting busy as well. But the second thinking she was in trouble, this man Zenitsu had turned up and flew all the way across the train. And I'm not gonna lie, he low-key had the hardest pull-up because you couldn't even see what he was cutting. Bro really was trying to show out for Nezuko. But don't let those three distract you from the most important person that was on this train. Because once Rengoku woke up, the nigga charged and torched damn near 5 carts all at once. And you could tell that did damage because this man Enmu was sick. And while this was going on, Tanjiro and Inosuke found out that if the train was his body, then they'd have to head to the front to get to his neck. But when they were thinking of ways to cut it, the conductor had pulled up and tried to stab Inosuke, but ended up getting Tanjiro. And even when he knocked him out, Enmu wasted no time and tried to trap the two. But you already know both these two were out here getting active and were able to escape to rethink their plan. And so finally they came to an agreement that they'd both have to use their strongest attacks in order to kill this demon. And I'm not gonna lie, respect to this man Rengoku, because instead of him trying to solo this demon, he put it in the hands of these two little niggas. And they did not disappoint either, because as you can see, they're out here weaving and dodging every single thing that's coming at him. And without a doubt, this man Inosuke was the MVP because he was able to clear the way for Tanjiro. And once he saw his opening, locked in, pulled up and sliced the shit out of this nigga Enmu, which obviously caused the whole train to just completely break down. It had Tanjiro fall off and roll to safety. And despite all this happening, was able to erase the main demon and keep all 200 passengers safe. Honestly, it was a job well done and a perfect way to end the movie. But I'm here to tell you that it just simply can't end this way. Because while helping Tanjiro, Rengoku had felt a dark presence enter the area. And we find out that it was actually Akaza, the upper rank 3 demon. And if y'all backtrack to what I said earlier, the Demon King Muzan had created 12 actual demons other than the defaults that usually run around. And out of those top 12 demons, this nigga was number 3, so you knew he was about it. And almost immediately after seeing Tanjiro, he went for the kill, but Rengoku had saved him. And after noticing his strength, Akaza had tried to recruit him, but after Rengoku said no, he knew he couldn't let that slide. Which actually brings us to our next fight on the list, Rengoku versus Akaza. So after essentially getting his friend request denied, this man Akaza did not take it lightly and charged up his fighting style. And the second he dashed at Rengoku, you could already tell that this was about to be a crazy fight, because you literally have the 2 S tiers of their field battling it out in the middle of nowhere. Meanwhile, Tanjiro was over here spectating but couldn't see shit because of how they were moving. And Akaza wasn't even going 100% because he was still trying to recruit Rengoku as a demon. And my first time watching this, I was hyped but nervous at the same time. Because imagine you're fighting a nigga and he's just having a normal conversation while punching you. And even when Rengoku landed a strike and cut his arm off, bro regrew that shit instantly and got back. And I'm not gonna lie, after this, the battle started to go downhill on Rengoku's side. Because after getting hit by that air fist, every encounter he had just ended with him losing or getting injured. And I'm not gonna lie, if I was Rengoku, I would have been raging. Because realize fighting these top tier demons is actually a disadvantage. Not only because they can regenerate immediately, but also remember they have thousands of years of experience. And while fighting Rengoku, it was truly starting to show. So after being tired of taking L's, Rengoku had stopped the games and went straight to full power. And I'm not gonna lie, it truly looked like the nigga was getting ready to go Super Saiyan. I mean, even Akaza felt the energy. But the charge at Akaza was so crazy that it formed a literal dragon right behind him. But regardless, Akaza went in with a smile on his face and caused a massive explosion. And off rip, this is already not a good sign, because you do not want to be at your peak and your opponent's still laughing at you. But after getting stabbed by that sword, Akaza was no longer laughing and Rengoku was able to land the ultimate. And obviously it caused a massive explosion, but when the smoke cleared, Akaza was perfectly fine and Rengoku had a fist going through him. And my first time watching this, I don't know what hurt me more, the fact that one of my favorite Hashiras got bait, or the fact that the very next day a Krispy Kreme had opened 4 blocks away from me. And while this was going on, the sun was on its way up, so Rengoku had tried to hold Akaza there so he'd get erased. And he was doing a good job too until Akaza said, fuck the arms, I'm out of here, and did. So once he landed that flip, bro was truly out here getting little. And I'm not gonna lie, for a second I thought he was going to get away. Well, that was until FaZe Tanjiro showed up, because when Tanjiro realized he had a clear shot, he took his time, lined him up and threw that shit. And while Akaza was running, it actually hit him and didn't do shit. Yup, that's right, that nigga Tanjiro sold the clip. And so yeah, I'm not gonna lie to y'all, after that it was pretty depressing. Sure, you still could put up your argument by saying they still completed their mission and saved 200 people, and not saying they didn't try their hardest, but at the end of the day, neither Tanjiro, Inosuke, or Zenitsu could get the job done when it mattered the most. And even while Rengoku was still alive, he told that nigga Tanjiro he sold, but it's okay. Because at that point, Tanjiro realized that if he wanted to get his get back, he'd have to pull up to the entertainment district.